Thanks for joining me again, BUSN 1360 Software Apps for Business Students. I'm Dr. McGrory. We're jumping into Excel, our Skill Review 1.1 project, and now we're starting with steps 6 all the way through to the end, which is 22. Okay, so a lot of steps here. That's all right. So remember that we have our spreadsheet opened, our workbook opened, and we are specifically on the Jarvis Hours tab. I encourage you to watch that first video. We didn't make any changes to Stephen's hours, but we learned a lot of very important concepts. So with step 6, it says the staff member's last name is spelled incorrectly. Navigate to cell B2 and edit the text. So once again, I'm going to move these off the screen so that we can focus on learning. And we're going to go to cell B2 and look at that. It's spelled Jarvis. Now you can double click. Remember, I like to just move my mouse to this formula bar, click immediately, maybe after the E, but see how precise I'm clicking? Then I just backspace. I type A because it's supposed to be Jarvis. When I'm done typing, press enter. Voila. So that was step 6. Look how fast. So it's a lot of steps, but we're going to move through this very quickly. The billable rate amount is missing, so we need to navigate to cell B4. See, here's this billable amount, and it says we're going to enter in 180. So we're going to do that, and remember, we have to press enter anytime we're finished. Click in cell B4, 180. Whenever we finish typing, press enter. Excellent. Now, we've made 2 changes. Let's save that. And in our instructions, we've finished another step. On to step 8. Modify the billable rate to use the accounting number format. So it's telling us that if our hands are on the keyboard, just arrow up to return to that cell. And then remember, that's on the Home tab. So let me move this out of the way. My hands are not on the keyboard anymore, so I'm just going to click. But here's what they want you to understand. Pay attention to what cell is selected. That's the one you're going to format. So we need to make sure that cell B4 is the one that is selected. Look in your name box. Cell B4 is selected. Click the drop-down arrow. They want us to use the accounting number format. Click Save. Let's check those off. On to step 9. The dates are missing from the timesheet. So we need to, in cell B7, we need to type in this format 8/1/2027 and press enter, which will move us down one line. But look at that. We're going to use that fill handle, that smart handle, to fill in the pattern all the way over to H7. So we're going to do step 9, and then we're going to continue to step 10. For step 9, I need to click in cell B7. I'm moving my mouse out of the way so I can see. The date format is 8/1/2027. Now, press the enter key, which will move me down to the next line. That is not the cell I want selected. So either arrow up or make sure that you click in cell B7. So that was step 9. Now we'll start step 10. Move your mouse over that special little button there at the corner, the lower right corner. Get your powerful thin black plus sign. Press, keep the mouse button held down as you drag over to cell H7 and release. Well, it looks like Excel changed that date format on us. Sometimes it gets a little too smarty pants for us, doesn't it? Well, let's just see what's going to happen. We finished step 9. And we actually did exactly what they told us to in step 10. Let me scroll down a little bit because look at step 11. Change the date format. So we're going to do that next. We're going to select all those cells so that we format them all at once. So if not, we can use the shift button, and we learned about that, right? And we're going to go to the home tab, and in that number group, we're going to select short date. So let me move this out of the way. So I can click, look, they're still selected. Do you believe cell B7 is selected? I hope you said yes, because it's got the green box, not the shading. The green box is around that. If it's not still selected for you, just press and drag. You can do it the opposite direction. You see how this one, the very first thing you select is the one, it's still selected. It's still selected. You can also click, shift, click. You can also click, use your arrow keys and with your shift key held down. In this, they told us to go to, let's see, yes, on the home in the number group, expand the number format list, and they very specifically want us to pick short date. So not just date, but see where it says short date? Look at long date. That would even give the day of the week, which is cool. There we go. How about that? Save that. Check that box. We got to get those checks. Look at us flying through. Use the quick analysis tool to calculate the total billable hours per day. So we're going to select our cells. So these steps are really cool, and I could read through them, but what they want us to see is this quick analysis tool, which can very quickly add our totals, and in particular the sum function that we saw. So it's really cool. One of the important things I'll point out to you here is look at this range. We have been looking at ranges like B8 through B11, but notice that this says B8 through H11. So we're going to analyze this big block of data all at once. Excel can really make your tasks so much faster. So let me show you, because it's easier to show you than to tell you. Over here on my spreadsheet, click to make it active. I'm going to select cells B8 through H11. When we talk about a range, it's all the cells that are contiguous. In other words, they're touching, they're side by side. Since they're side by side, I only have to give you the starting point, B8, and the ending point, H11. A common mistake that I see students make is they will click and try to drag over each of the cells, or they click this and then they, oh, wait, right. It's easy. You start with the first cell, B8, and remember I'm trying to go to H11. So just drag diagonally. You don't need to touch all those cells. Just drag diagonally towards the fastest, route possible towards the last cell, and it selects everything contiguous. Okay, now that I have that selected, you should see in the lower right corner near that little special notch that we used for autofilling, you should see a little icon there, and it's got a little lightning bolt next to it. And there's a note in your instructions that says if you don't see it, you might need to select it again to get it to kind of come up. So this is our quick analysis tool. If I hover my mouse over that, it even says, this is the quick analysis tool. Use it to quickly and easily analyze data. Click on that. Now, notice that, and I remember when this first came out, because like I said, I've been teaching Excel for a long time, I didn't notice that there were tabs inside this. So this is like really cool. And so there, I can quickly do a chart. That was formatting was the default. It does tend to remember what the last tab you selected was. Here's our totals. Just to show you, there's tables and spark lines. We'll get into those later. Let's go to totals. And they want us to use this sum. Look at that. I haven't even clicked it yet. and it's saying, not only am I going to put the totals there, I'm going to format them in bold. That is cool. Oh, what's that? I clicked it and it took a minute. Click, go away. Okay, there it goes. So how fast was that analysis? That was really fast, that we got the information we needed so we could start analyzing. And just from that, we can see, which day of the week did we get the most? Monday, right? But look at Sunday. That tells me about how to assign work, right? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to this. So that was step 12. On to step number 13. Format the hours billed section using the comma style. Be sure to include the total row. So let's just kind of go through this, but we're using this style there, the home tab and the number group. And so we're, style, it's not the more detailed style, it's just the formatting, I guess we should say, for B8 through H12. So let's do that. So B8, let me just verify. Okay, but it's only through H11 that I have selected. So click to someplace safe. In other words, click away someplace. That deselects. Now we want to click from B8 through H12. I say to you, but I say to me, the hardest part about this is following the instructions. If you were doing this in real life, you would obviously have more leeway where you could say, I know what I want formatted, but follow these instructions because it's going to grade it, okay? So B8 through H12, and on the Home tab, and we know there's many ways to select, which is what they're telling us. They want us to just use the comma button. So look at these buttons down here. We looked at the styles, general, accounting, numbers, all these different things, but down here, look at this button. I could apply accounting just by doing that. I do have more options underneath that. Look at that for the euro. Here's if I just wanted to quickly apply a percent, and here is this comma style. It says format with a thousands separator, right? Click on that. Did you see the numbers move? So their alignment is a little different. And they're lined up, the decimal places are all nicely aligned. There's a little space before the next cell. Okay, no dollar sign, it's not accounting style. So that's the comma style. We don't have anything that's in thousands, so we don't see the actual comma. So that was step 13, on to step 14. Look at this. We're going to do a little multiplication. See this asterisk right here? This is the symbol that Excel uses to say multiply. So we're going to multiply B12 times B4. What that means is whatever value is in cell B12, multiply it by whatever value. If it changes, update the formula, whatever value is in B4. We're going to make one change though. Do you remember how we locked on to cell B4? Because this was the billable rate. So those dollar signs say absolutely. They're not relative, absolutely lock on to that cell. Well, they're telling us that just press the F4 key on your keyboard and it'll automatically put those dollar signs in there. We're going to look at that. Sometimes that causes problems because on laptops nowadays, the function keys are not necessarily your primary key. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You can type them. Just click and type. I'm going to show you that, okay? Then we're going to press enter so that our formula is finalized. Let's just go ahead and do that. So I am clicking in cell B14. And this is where we take the total billable hours and we multiply it by the billable rate. So I'm in cell B14. How do I turn on the calculator? Hey, calculator, equal sign. Equal sign is how I turn on that calculator. So calculator is activated. I know that because look at all my formatting features. They're grayed out. Because when I'm on the adding machine, I don't need all those formatting features. Always turn on the calculator by typing that equal sign. So I press the equal sign. Now, I need to multiply cell B12, and I could certainly type B12. And if it was out of my vision, off the screen, I would probably type it. But I see it right there. So I'm just going to click on it. If you click the wrong cell, just click the correct one. It will change it until you type the next symbol. We're going to multiply, which remember is the asterisk. If you have a number pad on the side of your laptop, then either one, that multiply sign, or if you need to do shift and number 8, that is the same asterisk. So you can put that there. It means multiply. They want to multiply by B4. Okay, commonly when we are creating formulas, we don't necessarily remember at this point that we're going to copy this across to the rest of the formulas. That's okay. If I press enter at this point, I get the total, and the total is correct. This is important because you're going to be doing formulas. This is what Excel is all about, and it's easy. Do not panic. Okay, I'm just going to walk you through it. Remember I said I could click this formula. What do I need? I need the power. I need the power of the thin black plus sign, because that is the really smart feature, so that when I press and drag, uh-oh, what happened? This is common. We forget that we need to lock on to that 180. So when I look at my formulas, they're all relative. If I click, remember I can click in there and I can see, look at what's happening. I can see the color code. Escape or cancel is the red X. If I click on this next formula, look what it's doing. It's following the pattern of moving across. I didn't want that. Okay, here's the mistake that people make. They just start trying to fix each and every one of these formulas. That wasn't the problem. The problem started with the initial formula. So always go back to the initial formula. Click that, and in my cell B4, I'm going to click before the B, and I'm going to type my $sign. I'm going to click before the number 4. I'm interrupting the cell. That's okay. Type that $sign. I have locked on to that column, and I have locked on to that row. It's a double lock. I am absolutely locked on to cell B4. Now when I press my enter key, well, there wasn't a problem with that formula, so it didn't change. But we know the formula bar, the truth detector says, yes, it did. It's an absolute reference now. Now I'm going to get my powerful plus sign and press and drag. Look at that. Now, didn't I tell you that Excel people always click here, but they're looking here? If you click here, look here. Click here, look here. And so you know that formula is right. That's the key with Excel. Make sure you've added or subtracted or multiplied or divided the correct numbers. Very good. We're looking good. Now, if I clicked inside this B4, I'm going to pick any one of them. Remember they said we could use the F4 key. On my laptop, I have to press down a function button to make the F4 key work. And here's what I want to show you. I just pressed function F4 to make the F4 key work. And do you see how now it has $1 sign? If I press it again, now it has $1 sign in front of the B. Every time I press it, it cycles through the different settings for that cell. There's a relative reference. This is the full absolute double lock onto those cells. This is a mixed reference. The row is locked, but the column is not. Here the column is locked, but the row is not. I want the double lock. But that's the F4, that's part of it. But what did we do? We typed them. We got it. Okay, we got it. Save that. Bring these instructions back over. We did all those steps. Perfect. On to step 15. It says use the AutoFill to copy the formula to the remaining days in the timesheet. Well, we did that, didn't we? We used that AutoFill handle to hold down and the left mouse button and drag it all the way over. The formulas in the cell, B14 and H14, should look like this. Okay, I need to tell you something. Hopefully these keys will show on the keyboard. They're trying to give us this really nice picture of what the cells B14 and C14 and D14 should look like. And right now, in order to see that, you're clicking, right? You're clicking here, you're looking there. You're clicking here, you're looking there. An easier way to look at many formulas at one time, I want you to look at your keyboard. I want you to look at the numbers that go across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the number 1 and look to the left. Do you see it? It's got like a little tick mark, and I guess if I shift, I would have what's called a tilde symbol. In fact, above that button, you see the escape button. But if you see those numbers, 1, 2, 3, find the number 1, to the left of the number 1, and below the escape key. I want you to, what shall we call that button? Shall we call that tick mark? I'm going to call that tick mark. I want you to press and hold your control key down, and I want you to just keep it held down while you tap one time, tick mark. Oh. Tap it again. Tap it again. Tap it again. What did we do? This is the most handy shortcut key besides Control Z and Control Home, stuff like. Anyway, this is a handy shortcut key because it changes the view. You can go through menu settings to do this. Teaching this course, I have learned to go through the menu settings, and I tend to forget them because once I show you this keyboard shortcut, you'll never go back to the menu settings. It's just too convenient. It changes the view from the kind of final results view where I'm seeing the results to the formula view. Can I print this? Absolutely. And in a lot of organizations, they do. Because for a lot of organizations, these values are not as significant because they come from, let's say, a mainframe computer or a database computer. They're exported, and you pull them into Excel and you apply your formulas. A lot of accountants, their formulas are the important. Finance people, it's the formulas. So they want to have a record of the formulas. I'll tell you something as easy. If you're a teacher like me, you may be in our childhood early education program, or you might be teaching in a high school or another college or a grade school. Then you may do grades in Excel, and your boss will say, how were those grades calculated? In your Excel spreadsheet, the formulas are what you turn in. So yes, you can print this, but more importantly, it's a great troubleshooting tool. I can see immediately what my formulas are, what they're referencing. Now, be careful. You don't want to accidentally change something when you're in this view. Control, tick mark. Learning and earning. Learning and earning. So we did step 15, and we learned something new. Now it says you can calculate the bill total for the week by summing the daily bill amounts. Enter a formula using the sum function within B14 through H14 as the argument. So we're going to do those that sum function. Okay, let's just move this out of the way, and let's see what. Let's see what they're doing. So they want us to click in cell B15. Here it is right here. And they want us to type our formula. So how do we turn on the calculator? We have to do the equal sign. Equal sign. All formulas start with an equal sign. That's the calculator. All formulas start with an equal sign. We need a function. We're going to type sum. Now, I am, let me do this. I'm going to hit escape because and I'm going to cancel this. Some of you are familiar with this auto sum, and you could certainly do that. And you see how it tries to guess here. If you do that, you have to ignore what the marching ants are telling you, and you select what you want it to do. So you can certainly do that. Control Z. They're having us type it because this is kind of a maximum control, which means maximum ability way to enter this sum function. Calculator. All formulas start with an equal sign. What is the name of the program, of the function? Sum. All functions have parentheses, open parenthesis. You can type the range. You could type a series of cells, this, comma, that, comma, the other. You could type multiple ranges, this range, comma, that range, comma, this cell, comma. Okay, so you see the power that you have here. I want to sum up everything from B14, doesn't matter which direction you select in, through H14. If you make a mistake, you can edit later after you complete the formula. Close your parenthesis. If you forget and press enter, it will oftentimes be smart enough to do that for you, but it's a good practice to get used to closing that parenthesis. So I'm clicked on cell B15. If I look in my truth detector, my formula bar, I see the formula. So it's starting to come together. It takes practice, and it's great because you look at all the stuff you can do. Time to make that chart. All right. Let me just show you rather than tell you these instructions. So we're going to select cells A7 through H11. A7, that's actually text. A7 through, now I'm going to push my shift key down so that I can be very precise. H11, is that what they said? Select A7 through H11. Oops, nope. See, I got it wrong. Just keep your shift key held down and click again. So A7 through H11. Click your starting point, hold the shift key down, click the ending point. Now, when you put your mouse, see how as I move my mouse towards the border, I get this quick analysis toolbar. I'll tell you, this is AI trying to help me also. I need it to go away. But anyway, here's my quick analysis button, and this is what they want me to do again. And this time, when we click that, we're going to go to charts. And it wants us to locate stacked columns and click. Look how easy that was. That was so fast. This is an object that's hovering on our page. And obviously we've got a little work to do on this, so let's check off these steps. We finished step 17, on to step 18. We're going to change the title and put week of 8/1/2027 and press enter. I'll tell you something important. They say click the placeholder. Click the placeholder. There is a little difference on that, so we'll talk about that. And they want us to move the chart so that it's not in the cell. They're just telling us how to position it so that the corner is in J6, okay? So let me move this. Okay, so here's my chart, and they want me to click chart title. Okay, now click once to select the chart. There we go. See how the dots are around chart title? Do you notice that there is not a cursor flashing inside chart title? If I click inside there, yes, I can edit. But later on, we're going to learn that if you select the placeholder, you can actually use a formula to populate that. Isn't that interesting? So there's a difference between, if I click again, do you see my cursor flashing inside? That means I can type. escape, 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 undo, undo, right? Click out, I'm clicking out here. In other words, I need to deselect what I had selected. Press the chart. If you haven't got dots around the title, click one time on title. There is not a cursor flashing. That's kind of weird, but nevertheless, just start typing. Week of, look, look, it's on the formula bar. So you know what we could do? We could type equal A1, and it would put whatever we have in A1 in that chart title. Is that not cool? So that's the difference between selecting the placeholder. Week of space 8/1/2027. Press enter. Now what's on our formula bar is now also displayed inside. If I had clicked inside, I could certainly type week of 8/1/2027, but it wouldn't, it does it. It's a little different because what I would do in real life is I would put that title um, in a cell of my workbook so that when it changed to next week, I don't have to remember to change the chart title. Okay, let's, just so you know, we've done part of step 18, but there is more. We have to move the chart. Remember, we're moving the chart. I've got to get that four-sided arrow, and I need to put it in J6. Okay, so that looks about right. I'm going to just click away. They tell us to deselect. So hopefully that is going to be close enough for the grader to see that as correct. Folks, we had 20 steps. Look how fast we're going through this. So preview how the worksheet will look when printed. Click cell A1 to deselect the chart. Click the File tab to open what they call the backstage view. In other words, we're looking behind the scenes. So then we're going to click the print button, click on the left arrow to close the backstage view. Okay, so we're kind of just looking at the print option at this point. So we need to be in cell A1, and we can click that, or you can press Control Home. You can click on File and Print, and that's all they're showing you, File and Print. This is what it's going to look like. Notice they've already set the paper as landscape. If you needed to change the orientation, you've got buttons on the left side. Sometimes these buttons change depending on the capabilities of your printer. With that done, I am going to use my back arrow as they suggested. I'll give you one additional tip as I do because we are learning. Notice up here in your autosave area, again, I have autosave off. I haven't saved, so I'm going to go ahead and click my save button. I have undo and redo. Your buttons may look different because you can customize what's up here. Do you see the little drop-down box? If you want to create a new spreadsheet very quickly, you see it added this? If you want to email it very quickly, if you want to print preview or quickly print to your printer, you can add these buttons. The order that you add them, since I added new last, it showed up at the end, tends to be how they show up. I use quick print frequently so that it just goes to my printer. I also really frequently use print preview because we are very oftentimes wondering, what does this look like? So instead of clicking File and then going to Print, if I add those buttons to the top, boom, okay? So I encourage you to customize this in a way that makes you most productive. You can see that you even have a choice of adding even more commands than what they show here. So if you add something and you don't like it, just take that away. If you want to put it back, notice it comes up at the end now, so that might help you rearrange some of these in the way that you want, okay? So I hope that's helpful. In terms of our instructions, we did it. You know what we need to do now? Do we submit? No, because we need to save and close. And I'm telling you, save and close absolutely everything. Now, I will tell you, I'm almost nervous because when I teach, as I demonstrate, I often do introduce errors into the workbook. So let's just see. I'm going to make this full screen. Clicking anywhere on the page, I need to go to the top, Control Home, and I'm going to upload here. I definitely want to make sure that I'm uploading the correct document. Here is my my Excel folder. It's definitely the only Excel folder I have right now, so I can drag and drop. But I like this because I can verify, is it Excel 1, Excel 2, Excel 3. Let's drag, drop that right on top. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? I'm nervous. Can we do the dance? Are we going to have it? Ooh, it's really having to think on this one, isn't it? I did make a mistake someplace. I told you I was a little nervous. Okay. The chart title. What did I do wrong with the chart title? Oh, did I? Jarvis Hours does not have an upper left position. Oh, I didn't get it correctly into J6? Oh, did y'all let me put that in J1? I just did that to see if you all were paying attention. That's J1. That's J1. Put that down here in J6. Is that J6? Let me go across. That looks like J6. There we go. Save. Close. Open Chrome again and go back to the top. Click on the assignment name again. I'm going to do a restore is what that button is called, restore. Then I can just drag and drop. Now, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Yes, we have that 100. All right. Thank you, folks. I hope you've learned a lot, and we'll see you in the next video.